Hello again, this is Talking Hands with yet another video about Alita. So, I've made the mistake of reading around the internet to see some of the criticism of Alita Battle Angel. One thing that stood out that I find weird is how it seems a lot of feminists dislike the film. Yes, feminists disliking a film surrounding a strong female character. I wonder why that is. So I read up on some of the articles, and these people are obviously experts, so reading their comments have made me come to a surprising conclusion. James Cameron, John Landau, Robert Rodriguez, and everyone at Weta got it wrong with Alita's design. Yep, you heard that right. It's completely wrong, and after I read through some of these feminist comments, I'll show you what the ideal design is for Alita that is sure to make these feminists happy. This first one is by a Hannah Thomas Peter. That's a lot of first names. Hannah Thomas Peter. Anyway, of Sky Views, titled "A Brilliant Film Ruined by Hollywood Unnecessarily Sexualizing a Character." Okay, I don't see how a character with a polymer and metal body with no sexual parts can be considered sexualized. The only thing is that it's shaped like a woman's body because she still has the brain of a female human. I don't know. Anyway, so it talks about, and I quote, "Why, when she is in full-fledged fighting mode, is Alita's body and costume so unnecessarily sexual? Why is her waist impossibly tiny? Her breasts so prominent?" How is her waist impossibly tiny? I personally know several people with small waistlines like that. I don't know, maybe it helps with her flexibility in her fighting. I don't know. Well, obviously, she's more of an expert than I am about this stuff. And her breasts so prominent? What were they, like B or C cups? Would that be considered large breasts? They don't even have nipples or anything. They're literally just curved shapes on her polymer metal body. They really aren't even breasts. Oh well. Let's continue. Another article, this one by Molly Freeman of Screen Rant, titled "Alita has a design problem, but it's not the big eyes." What does she mean? Let's read. "The movie fails to compellingly explain why her android body conforms to a sexualized ideal body type." Wait, so why she would conform to the body type of a fit person instead of what, like an obese one? I'm not sure what that means, but let's continue. "Rather than implicitly explain Alita's body looks how it does because it's how the androids were designed, similar to why her eyes are large, Battle Angel plays it off like this is Alita's own ideal warrior body, one with sexualized proportions and seemingly very little muscle." I don't know, I mean, this is a cyborg body. Somehow I don't think it needs the appearance of a bunch of bulky muscles in order for it to be strong. And I don't know why Alita's character would consider this her ideal body. It's almost like inside that shell is a normal young woman's brain or something. Yeah. Again, I'll assume the author is simply more intelligent than me. I just don't get it. Alright, so one last article. This one is by a Manola Dargis, hope I'm saying that right, of the New York Times, titled "Alita Battle Angel Review. Do female cyborgs dream of breasts?" Why would it matter if she's a cyborg when her brain is a normal person's brain? Shouldn't it simply be titled, "Do females dream of breasts?" Anyway, she writes, "The cyborg heroine gets a new body. It's a streamlined shoulder-to-foot job, one that makes her look like a sex doll, with a chrome-plated musculoskeletal system." What? A sex doll? I mean, I find that Alita's berserker body is like that of a gymnast after she grows up. That's kind of what I see when I watched Alita, like an adult gymnast body. I don't know how sex dolls typically would look, but I imagine it would be a lot more voluptuous, right? Anyway, continuing, her new physique turns out to be an innovative weapon and comes with articulated parts, a wasp waist, and what looks like a discrete chastity panel for the groin. What? What does a discrete chastity panel even look like? Anyway, but it seems everyone has a problem with her having a fit person's waist, so I guess ideally she should have the waistline of like a dad who hasn't gone to the gym in a long time, so like 40 inches? Alright, duly noted. And then she continues, "Why does Alita, Rosa Salazar, who has a human brain, even have breasts? Wait, why wouldn't somebody with a female human brain want to have breasts? Is she saying that if she was given the opportunity to design her own body, she would exclude her breasts? Is she saying that is what most or all women with human brains would choose? I don't get it. Well, I kind of think she answered her own question there. Why does any cyborg that isn't a sex bot or a wet nurse? So the only way you would choose to have breasts, and actually not even breasts, just shapes of breasts, is if you're a sex bot or a wet nurse? Is this woman on drugs? No, I'm sorry. She's an expert. I have to listen to her opinions. Yes, so after reading those articles, I've finally had my eyes opened. I am completely woke now. No longer am I blinded by the patriarchy and the male privilege and suffering from being a fragile male and whatever other cool feminist buzzwords that are usually thrown around when they have no real point to make. Anyway, yes, all of that stuff. I'm like super woke. And in my wokeness, I have spent countless hours and many sleepless nights and consulted all kinds of experts on graphic design and whatever. I'm running out of things to say to pretend how important this is, so I'm just going to show you my final products. I have 2 prototype designs. Let me know in the comments which one you think would offend the least amount of people, because that is what really matters. And here's the first. Here you see I have listened to the experts and made sure that she doesn't have a wasp waist or whatever that term was. I also understood that having an ideal fit body is offensive to some people, so I gave her some more of that fast food binge look that is obviously so much more efficient for fighting. Like, why would you want to be fit and slim so that you can really be flexible and squeeze better in between strikes when you could just have a body like this where strikes will simply bounce off you and you simply roll to safety? It's so much better. Flips and acrobatics are so overrated. So I also made sure her breasts go from the ginormously huge B or C cups that she had to A cups at most. I actually think if they indented inwards, like negative A or B cups, that would even be better. Like if she gets thirsty during a rainstorm, she could just collect some water in them. It's very useful survivalist stuff there. Now my second design, in case that one is still too feminine for the feminists, because being feminine is actually bad now. I mean, don't question me. Be woke and realize the truth. So this is my second design that removes all of that sexist femininity in her design. What do you guys think? With this, she doesn't have to conform with any stereotypes of how a female or a male should look. I mean, she's a warrior cyborg after all, not a sex bot. Why need any shapes at all? I'm sure these shapes are aerodynamic, so she can still fly through the air and do her kicks and stuff. You don't need all those superficial things to look more human. I mean, it's not like she has the brain and mind of a human female or anything. Wait, she does? Well, doesn't matter. By the 26th century, everyone should be all woke like these feminists and should realize that they don't need to look like these cultural stereotypes for how men and women should look. Well, anyway, in case it wasn't completely clear, this is a joke. I'm being very sarcastic and mocking what these modern feminists are complaining about. I love the movie and think they did an amazing job with almost everything about the movie, including the character design. Alita has a normal teenage girl's brain, so when she takes on the form of how she sees herself subconsciously, it makes sense for her to be a fit and feminine female. Her fighting style requires that she is slim and flexible, so I don't get why these feminists have to find something to complain about. We have a movie with a strong female character that doesn't force it down our throats and doesn't continuously remind us how evil men are and how only women are worthy of praise. And I feel movies like that do more to push the real feminist agenda of pushing for women's equal rights and making sure men respect women as equals better than the movies with the obvious agenda that the current feminists seem to love. Those movies basically always rub people who do not identify with current feminists, which unfortunately include many actual feminists, the wrong way, because they always unfairly turns it into an us versus them type thing rather than seem like they want to create equality and unity. So those films do more to stroke feminists' own ego rather than actually changing the hearts and minds of those they're trying to reach. All they do is alienate them further. Now, I'm not pretending that chauvinists and sexists do not exist. Of course they do. I see them all the time. I grew up in an all-female household. I definitely know to respect women as equals. I actually prefer to spend time with female friends than male friends most of the time. I really do not like when my guy friends would talk like guys and objectify women. So I'm in no way sexist against women. Some of my all-time favorite action movie characters are women, namely Ellen Ripley from Alien and Aliens and Sarah Connor in Terminator 2. Besides the feminist rant Sarah Connor has while talking with Miles Dyson, which I don't mind because it was in character for her to say those things, the films themselves do not try to force any agenda down your throat. All you're left with when walking out the theaters so many years ago was all the times that character was a badass. Which would make you respect strong women more without you consciously realizing. The same thing with this movie. They presented a female character that we can relate to or can see as being a believable character because she has faults that you would expect from someone who is essentially a child. I mean, given that she doesn't have her memory and also because she was designed primarily for fighting and not things like socializing and human relations. But at the same time, proved that she's more than what she appears to be on the outside and is capable of incredible feats and can overcome a lot of obstacles. So anyway, I was just trying to be a little humorous in this video. This was in no way meant to hinder the progress of women that I feel is essential in a civilized society. But I simply don't agree with the modern feminist ideals of basically championing the victim status. That was never what the feminist movement was about from what I know of it. So please voice your opinions in the comments below. I love reading everybody's comments and I try to reply to most of them. And if for whatever reason you're watching this video but haven't yet seen the movie, go watch it. It's a great movie. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you choose to do so. Thanks for watching.